All right. Well, hello again to all the boys and girls out there in YouTube land watching. John and Ellie of Georgia Beer Reviews back at you today with another edition of Stout Sunday. And we've got a star-studded panel here today, boys and girls. We've got Michael Kormaroff from Brooklyn. We've got Shane Fudge. We've got Robert the Whiskey Scout. And we've got the one and only Ronald J. Theriot from Louisiana Beer Reviews. Thanks for joining me, guys.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good to be here.
All right, so let's see what we've got today. We'll start with Michael Kormaroff. What are you drinking this morning,
Okay,
Michael?
this is a revisit of the Dragon Stout from Jamaica at 7.5% alcohol from the Red Stripe Brewery in Jamaica. And I've had it a couple of times, but it was the only appropriate stout that I own at this point that was not so much alcohol for Sunday morning.
All right.
I'm not going to be drinking 12%ers, 16-ounce bottles and stuff like that. So
You want to have a good day, but you're not ready to get your day started quite that
this is a
fast.
slower, more easygoing start. And the bottle
All
is
right.
only 9.6 ounces, so it's not even a full deal, but that's life.
All right. Sounds good. Let's go to Shane Fudge next with his, I don't know, mystery beer. I guess.
I'm still trying to figure it out. I think I've decided to go with a local beer that I've only had once at the brewery. I went down to buy a 4-pack of it, and it was already gone back earlier this year. It was the Flyaway Brewery's Lord God Bourbon Barrel Aged Imperial Chocolate Stout, and it is super, super hard to get. I was fortunate enough to the guy at the liquor store that owns the liquor store saved me 2 of these and just like gave them to me because he knew I was trying to find some of it. But he's real good about that. He tries to keep me coming back by giving beer once in a while like this. But this is made with real Izzard chocolate. That's chocolate. Izzard County is here in Arkansas. But anyway, it's a 12.5% bourbon barrel aged Imperial Chocolate Stout, and the last I remember, it was really an awesome bourbon barrel aged beer. I've talked about the Ozark Bourbon Double Cream Stout being one of my favorite beers, but this last I remember was right on par with that one too. It's a tiny little brewery in North Little Rock, but you can go by there. I don't know if they have this year round in their tap room or not, but released once a year, and this was the first time they canned it this year. So anyway, are we pouring right now? Have y'all already poured?
Yeah, you can go ahead. I'm just going to go through the last couple people here and get what everybody's drinking. Then we'll go right back around and start drinking them. So, Robert, the Whiskey Scout, what do you got?
Evil Twin Brewing Decadent Delight. It's the Decadent Ales. It is an imperial stout with pistachio, cinnamon, and coconut added. And I never can get quite this camera angle on how it all works, but
Yeah, you got it.
there we go.
Perfect right there.
So,
all right.
Anyway, and it is 11.7% alcohol by volume. It doesn't list the IBUs. So, anyway.
Okay. All right. Excited to see what you think about that one. Let's go to Ronald Theriot with his stout. What are you drinking today, Ron? Did you hear it? Ron, you with us?
Yeah, I was fixing something. Okay, so mine. Want me to give you a quick rundown? It's simple. It's fast.
Well, we were just What are you drinking first? You gotta.
Oh yeah, I forget. I'm drinking the Black O'Lantern. I put the can in the other room. I'll go get it. It's 6.5% alcohol. It has a black. I don't know why I put it in the other room. I'm so in a habit of doing that, so I can go rinse the can out. It has a black jack-o'-lantern on there, and it's so scary. I mean, it's pretty terrifying. And it's from Utah. And I don't know the IBUs. Untapped saying 14, but that's not official. I don't go by unofficial stuff. And The last time I reviewed that was in 2013, and it was like $1.65 for the can. It wasn't bad.
Yeah, I've never heard of it before.
A standard pumpkin stout. I'm sorry, a standard pumpkin ale. What they do is they take an imperial stout and they blend it with a pumpkin ale, and they make this. It's like a combo beer.
Okay, interesting. Let's see. We've got Jeremy Vinson is in the chat, wishing he had a stout. Thanks for tuning in, Jeremy. Ron S says happy Stout Sunday. We got Thomas Metal Erickson in the chat says H-I. So hi, hello to you, Eric. Craig Swinson says he's got a 4-pack of Murphy Stout. That's really good stuff. I haven't had that in a couple years, but yeah, that's good stuff, Craig. We've got Trish in the chat. Happy Stout Sunday. Happy Stout Sunday to you, Trish. And Crap Beer Pours. Cheers, John and panel. Cheers to you, Brandon. Yeah, Trish says she loves bourbon barrel aged. Jeremy says great beers. Ronnie S says that Ron's beer is very scary looking. Yeah, very scary. All right, so let's see. We'll go back to Michael Kormaroff with his Dragon Stout.
Okay, this is what it looks like in the glass. It had as you can see from the top, it had a bigger head when it was originally poured, and now it's kind of down to just a little slimmer head, and it's tan color head, and the beer is very dark brown. You can see through it a little bit, but it's pretty opaque, fairly opaque anyway. Maybe a slight light can get through it. Let me get a nose on it. Getting kind of like dark roasted malt. Kind of, it's weird. It has kind of like a milky smell almost, but there is sweetness here. Certain amount of malt sweetness I'm getting as well. Let me give it a taste. The taste follows. It's not, I guess, the sweetness I got really was kind of like a combo kind of sweetness with the malt. So it's not sweet. It's not cloying. It's just a combination taste with the malts, slight sweetness, and the taste is really nice. Very nice and very easy drinking. You can't taste the 7.5% at all. It drinks more like a lighter beer, goes down pretty easily. You'd have to be careful with this one. I'll keep sipping on it.
All right. You know, I think we've talked about this before, but that's one of the ones I see it all the time. I've never had the regular, just the Dragon Stout before. So I'm going to have to check that out. Although I'm not too thrilled about those small bottles, but still, it sounds like a winner. So anyway, and it is widely available around here, so I have to try it. All right, so we'll let you keep sipping on that. Come back around, and we'll go to Shane Fudge next.
Oh man, this beer. I'm sorry, I went ahead and took a sip. I just sat here with my nose stuck in it while y'all were talking. The chocolate, it just smells so good. As soon as I opened the can, the chocolate was just bursting out of it. When I started pouring it, it smelled like I was pouring this milk chocolate in my glass. And the roastiness from the malts are just really nice, giving a nice coffee kind of espresso darkness. On the palate, man, it's just so creamy. It's almost like, I don't think they put lactose in it, but it's almost like it's milk chocolate. So you're getting that creamy kind of milk lactose feel, thickness from the chocolate that they put in here. The chocolate is really good. It's made here in Arkansas, so a lot of these breweries in Little Rock, especially, I've noticed try to use locally sourced ingredients when they put adjuncts in them. But man, this beer is friggin' phenomenal. It is incredible. 12.5%, and it drinks like a 6.5. It's just crazy. It's really hard to get there. Hopefully this coming year they'll make a lot more of it and maybe get it out in into the stores a little bit more so people can get their hands on this, because it's crazy good. I put this right there with any of the barrel aged stouts I've had, including Ozark Bourbon Double Cream or KBS or any of the chocolate barrel aged stouts. Man, this one's right there with the MILF. It's right there with the Lost 40s Naughty Night. I mean, they really knocked it out of the park with this beer. I wish you all could get a can of this. Unfortunately, I only have 2 of them, and I just popped one of them. So I've got one I'm wanting to do like a blind test with this and the Ozark Bourbon Double Cream and maybe a KBS, and just see how they all truly stack up blind. That's a true test of which one you really like the most, and can tell for without a doubt which one you like. But you look at it, it's just black.
Yeah.
The sun, you see tiny bits of red. It keeps regenerating the head too. 12.5%. The head hadn't truly gone all the way. You can see how creamy that head is on this. Leave nice lacing. This is a beautiful beer, man. I've been looking forward to cracking one of these cans, and I just, like I said, I got to taste it when it first came out in Little Rock at the brewery, and it was awesome. And I'm just very lucky to get a couple of cans. My paws on a couple of cans of it, but thought I'd crack it today. I had a pretty hellacious week or so, so thought a special beer might be good this morning. Only thing might be better is have one of those Cuban cigars I got in the house there, along with it. But yeah, I really like it a lot. I've sipped it a couple times. It's just chocolate, man, chocolate, and you get some dark fruit in there too. Always with these barrel aged stouts seem to get dark chocolate covered like raisin note with a lot of them, especially if it's got chocolate in it. Obviously, you're going to get that, but the malts turn into like a dark fruitiness, I think.
Yes,
Cheers.
I noticed that. Yeah, cheers. I love the bourbon barrel aged stouts. That you get a lot of the berry notes, the fruit note, the dark fruit, for sure.
Yeah, man, this is freaking phenomenal. This beer is just incredible. I wish you had taste of vision and smell of vision on the old stream here, but
I'm kind of picking it up a little bit.
yeah,
They've enhanced the broadband.
Right. Yeah.
It is.
You
It
know,
is rich.
you were close enough. You were close enough that you really probably could have gotten a smell just a week ago. You were in Memphis. Had I known you were in Memphis, man, I had a free day that day. I could have met up and like, hey, taste some beers with you guys and meet you.
It was kind of a tight thing because
I get it. That's fine.
we went to the game and we went there for the game, so you got to go to the game, right? And so it was like then we do this, then we do that, then we will proceed to church, then we go to the game, and it was like almost no free time, But normally, if it was a regular trip, yeah, we'd have to meet up.
Yeah. Next time you're up this way, man, please, any of you guys, man. If you're in Arkansas, let me know. I have got beer to share.
Man, I know that. And due to what arrived on my front porch one day.
Yeah, I need to.
Are you less than an hour from Memphis? How far are you from Memphis?
5.5.
About an hour and a half. No more than 2 hours. Hour and 45 minutes. I can be downtown.
Okay, that's not so bad.
It's just directly east of me, and it's all like real straight, flat drive all the way there.
Interstate roads that go there?
No, not all the way. No, most of it actually is just like a 2-lane, but it's all been redone recently, and it's real smooth and easy drive. But, yeah, it's real close. I mean, I can be in Memphis in no time.
That's your closest big city.
Closest big city is Little Rock. It's about an hour south of me.
Oh, wow. Is that really a big city though? Oh, well.
That's the biggest one in Arkansas.
Right, I know. I'm just thinking like Memphis.
Memphis is bigger. Memphis
Compared to Memphis, no. Memphis has got about 1 million people or so, 1.5 million probably.
But
Little Rock's probably got about, I don't know, 250,000.
Yeah, so when I think of Little Rock, I think along the lines like Shreveport, Baton Rouge.
Yeah.
The closest big city. You
To
know,
us hillbillies, though, it seems like the big city.
right. To us, our only big city is New Orleans, and it's barely big. You know, you used to have a lot more people for Katrina, but Katrina kind of took care of a lot of that.
And I guess I think of big cities in a different way, but I've been to some of these other places.
Yeah. No joke. He's in one of the most famous.
Yeah, Michael's just laughing at you.
in the
I was
world.
like,
There's a lot of
you guys
population.
have no idea.
There's a lot of population. That doesn't make it better. It's just more interesting.
Oh, I didn't say it was better. I just say it's big.
It's definitely
Big,
More to
big.
do.
there's a lot of people here for sure. I think
I don't mind living out.
the whole thing.
I live close to Atlanta. Atlanta's a pretty big city, but it ain't nothing like New York City or Brooklyn or any
You take
really
in
any
New
of
York,
the 5 boroughs up there.
and Connecticut, where I am, it's 20 million people.
Good Lord.
I'm sorry to get the discussion off track.
Oh no, it's all good. But yeah, I would be blown away if I went up to New York. One of these days, I'm going to make it up there because I've never been. I'd love to visit.
Or it used to be fun, at least. I might drive back. I haven't driven there in 4 years, and I went to see some cool people. But I need to go back.
Right. All right. Well, let's see. We'll get back on track here and go to. I know Robert's just dying to. Well, he's probably already tasted it, but he's dying to give us the breakdown of that Decadent Delight. All right. He's nodding his head. So yeah, go ahead, Robert.
Well, it's dark. You can't see through it. Typical Imperial Stout style. Poured with the 1-finger chocolate head. That's dissipated. It's just down to basically a ring now. The initial nose when you first start is nothing but dark roasted malts. That's all you really get. Maybe a little chocolatiness with that, but that's all you really get. But as it warms up in the glass, I get the cinnamon. That is definitely came to the forefront. And it took me a little bit to come up with it. But when I was in Kentucky, you could go smell the raw tobacco leaves that were hanging in the sheds. The natural, and I get that on this a little bit on the smell. It's really different, and I don't know why. I don't know what combination on the nose that brings that about, but I do get a little bit of that in the background. That oily tobacco. If you ever handled a real tobacco leaf, you know what I'm talking about. That smell, and I get that. Now I have not tasted it, so here goes.
Cheers,
All right,
Robert.
cheers.
There's the coconut. Very sweet. This is a lot sweeter than anticipated. And the sweetness balances the bitter. You don't get a lot of bitterness on this at all because of the sweetness. Coconut and cinnamon, as it says on the can, they both come through. Like a nuttiness. Almonds, pecans. There's a little bit of nuttiness that comes through with this as well. Don't know why. Don't know. Gotta get a little touch of nuttiness with it.
Did they cover the alcohol well?
Oh, yeah. I don't know if I've ever drank an Evil Twin that doesn't have, that you just never get smacked in the face with alcohol. You do notice it, but it comes across more of a 4% or something like that, 4% beer or something in that nature. It's there, but it's not in your face at all. But you do notice just barely in the background. But in essence, for 11.7%, yes, they cover the alcohol. They're bringing it down that far. The cinnamon now is more prominent in the palate. It's that dry cinnamon. It's not a sweet cinnamon like a cinnamon roll or anything. It's more like just regular dry cinnamon you get. If you took your finger and just touched cinnamon and put it on your tongue, it's more along those lines. And it finishes with cinnamon. I still got cinnamon and dark roasted malts. You only get the coconut. I only got the coconut in the very front of the first taste.
What's the ABV again?
11.7%. I haven't had pistachios in a long time. So it says it has pistachios, but to me it comes across more like somewhere between an almond and a pecan. There is a nutty component to it. And chocolate. There is that chocolate off them roasted malts. It is there. But again, all that leaves as it goes through the palate, and you just end up with cinnamon and dark roasted malts. And it's
Sounds really good.
Yeah, it is really. It's quite tasty. It starts off really sweet and it finishes kind of dry.
Yeah, that's one thing I remember when I had it. The pistachio doesn't really come through that much. I would have maybe liked a little bit more of the pistachio, but I mean, it's hard to complain with a beer that quality. You got to be a little nitpicky, I guess. But I thought it was excellent when I had it.
Yes. Oh, we'll get
Shane,
around to it, of course.
Yeah. So Shane, hopefully he'll get his technical difficulties worked out. I just muted you, Shane, just because you had some noise there trying to move your phone around or laptop or whatever you were doing. But we'll come back around to you shortly. But we still have to get to Mr. Ron Ontario of Louisiana Stout Reviews with his Black O-Lantern Pumpkin Stout.
Okay, now why it's got to be Black O-Lantern Pumpkin Stout. Oh wait, I can't see without my glasses. And now for my next trick. I'll examine the beer. Somebody's echoing like a bunch of echo. It's on the basic side, really, but basic can be good. You know what I'm saying? It's like pumpkin pie dough. What do you call it? The crust and the spices and malt. And you get a little of the vegetable matter, but I know pumpkin doesn't have much aroma. It's sort of neutral.
Right. It's a squash that has very little flavor. People attribute the pumpkin pie spices to the actual flavor of pumpkin, which is obviously it's not true at all.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Ronnie, that echo was just like a fleeting thing. All right. So, and the flavor is very similar to the nose, except that you get a little coffee cream, like if you put cream in coffee, not milk, but cream, and then the coffee itself. There is a little charred bitterness. You know how like you get char from bitterness sometimes? I mean, I said it backwards. Bitterness from char sometimes.
Absolutely, yes.
But not really from hops to my perception. And then it's a low, medium mouthfeel. So to me, I was saying this in my review. That's why I was late, because I was doing my own solo revisit, which was short. I said that it seemed more like a porter than a stout. Of course, a stout is a type of porter, but it didn't really seem like a stout porter. It seemed like a porter. And the finish is like about medium dry, and it's fine. I mean, you pay $1.65, you get I'm not gonna score it yet. You get a beer. Now that last part I'm gonna fill in.
All right.
At the end.
Okay, so Shane's back, it seems. We've got people in the chat here going crazy, talking about New York and different beers. We got talking about Trogues beer, talking about the population of New York. Jeremy's talking about the Decadent Delight. Sounds awesome. Yeah, they're kind of talking back and forth with each other. Jeremy says he's got to make a run to Little Rock, get some stouts for reviewing. Miss joining in with you guys. Yeah, we miss you too, Jeremy. Get on it, buddy.
Get on it, Jeremy. Dang it.
Get on it, man. All right, so now I almost forgot myself here. So yeah, I've got the Chocolope Stout here from Sweetwater Brewing. It's a limited release, which may or may not be a good thing. We'll see. It's 6.4% alcohol. It's one of those hemp-inspired beers. When you crack it open, before you pour it in the glass, it smells like somebody just lit a joint or something. I mean, it just smells like marijuana. Pour it in the glass. That kind of dissipates after a few minutes. You get some of the dark roast, some of the chocolate. That's pretty much it. I mean, that hemp thing is really kind of overpowering on the aroma. It does die down, like I said, but it's still the first thing that you pick up on. And the taste, you're not getting so much of that hemp. You do get the chocolate notes from the roasted barley malt. I am getting a little bit of like a caramel sweetness in the middle as well. It does have some toasted bread notes, like some darkly toasted bread notes, almost to the point of being charred, which, Ron, you touched upon, like the bitterness that you get from that sometimes. It does have some bitterness. I don't really think it's coming from the hemp flavors that are in here. Maybe some from the hops, but there is an astringency from the barley, the roast in here, because of how dark it is. The body is medium. Carbonation is light, and I didn't really give the appearance, but you could see it's standard stout appearance. I can't see through it when I hold it up to the light, so it's jet black, I guess. It's strange. The more I drink it, the harder it is for me to try to figure out what I think about it. I will say that I like it a lot less than when I first tried it. I think I gave it on Wildcard Wednesday. I gave it like an A-. It's definitely not in the A range for sure. It's just too strange, such of an oddity. And those hemp flavors, I don't think they pair well with stouts. I think that the 420, the IPA, like the Mango Kush and the regular 420 strain IPA, I think those were much better. They were also strange, but the hemp flavors, the hop-like character that you get from the hemp, I think it goes better with IPAs than with stouts. But I'll keep sipping on it and upgrade my rating here shortly. Let's see. Let me go back to the chat one more time, make sure I didn't miss anything. Jeremy says he's been so busy at work. But, yeah, man, that's fine. Do what you got to do. Obviously, there's more important things than Stout Sunday, but when you get a chance, we'd love to have you back. And let's see. Eclectic Beard says he thinks any weather is stout weather. Yeah, fall and winter is best for it, though. Yeah, I agree, but, I like to drink stouts year-round, hence Stout Sunday. But anyway, let's see. We have to go back to Michael Kormeroff with his Dragon Stout for final thoughts and rating.
Okay. I would say it has a semi-dry finish, which I didn't mention before, and it's classified as a foreign stout. So it's similar to the Guinness export stout in that classification. Anyway, that's what they're claiming it is, an export stout. I think it's a really good beer, and I would continue to have it. I wish it came in an 11.2 ounce bottle like all the standard European beers come. But if I have to settle for 9.6 ounces, that's just life in the fast lane. I mean, whatever it's worth, John, it's worth buying. So if you can get some, you should try it. It's really good. I'm going to give it a 95. So it's bordering on world class.
The Eagles talked about that.
The Eagles talked about one more time? What now?
Life in the fast lane.
Oh,
Right.
Life in the fast lane. Yeah.
Right. Right. But I would buy this again, even in the 9.6 ounce bottle. So it's worth.
It's like that John Courage Russian Imperial Stout. You say, I'm getting ripped off. This is not worth it. This is an insane price, and the bottle is small. This is a joke. And then you drink it, and you say, wow, they undercharged me.
No, it's good. It's really, the Dragon Stout is really good. I would say it's not top echelon, but it's right below the very top things you'd get in something at about 7.5% alcohol.
Okay. All right. So a winner from Jamaica. We've got to go back to Shane Fudge here with his Lord God Bourbon Barrel Aged Imperial Chocolate Stout. What are you thinking, Shane?
Man, I love this beer. I wish I could have it in my fridge all the time. It's so smooth. The 12 and a half, I don't believe it. 12 and a half, it's really like a 6-7%. There's no burn. No burn. It's just rich milk chocolate, dark fruits, really nice imperial stout. I dig it. It's one of the best I've ever had. I mean, I put it up there with any of the other. There's some really, really great barrel-aged stouts coming out of Arkansas, several different breweries that are doing some really good things these days. This one's right there, and it's such a tiny little brewery. It's just like a little tiny restaurant, and they got a brewery in the back of it, and they can a few beers.
What's the score?
What's the score?
Yeah.
I've got to give this a Hundies, man. This is
Oh man,
this is perfection right here. This is, I mean, it's phenomenal. Unbelievable. It's the second time I've had it, and the first time it was the smaller portion, but man, it's great. It is. I wish you all could get a little drink of this right now. I wish I could pour a little into your glass right there and let y'all try it, because it is just unbelievable. How smooth that they can make this a 12.5%. How smooth, and just the rich bourbon is there, but it doesn't just overpower the beer. It just really complements the beer, which is what I think they should do. You know, if you want more bourbon, pour a shot of bourbon in your stout, then, like some people do. But the chocolate in it, the chocolate is just delicious. Locally sourced, you can tell it's locally sourced. Really, more fresh. So great beer. Great beer.
Jeremy says he's got to find that one. Yeah, Jeremy's in Arkansas, so he might have a shot at it.
Road trip.
Yeah. That's right.
Jeremy is in Flyway over in North Little Rock, just across the bridge from. I mean, there's like 9 breweries in downtown Little Rock. Lost 40 and Rebel Kettle and Flyway and Diamond Bear. There's like, and you can take a trolley car. There's a trolley car that takes you through all of them. You can just get in that thing and ride around and just get schnockered. But hopefully have a hotel downtown. But anyway, it's down at Flyway Brewery, and you probably have to find it. It's coming up it's canned in February. This one was canned February 19th of this year.
Awesome.
But yeah, if I can get my hands on some of this and get enough of it, I'll have to send some of you guys that appreciate these sort of beers here. And if I can find some more of that bourbon, I plan to do that. I really like to share beer with people that appreciate those beers too. See what they say about it. So I'm not ashamed or not afraid of sending beer to people, especially you guys that review all the time. I really like to see what y'all say about these beers too.
A question, Shane. If that was in February, did you hold on to it for a long time, or did you just get it, or did they? I
went right after they released this back in February. I went to the brewery about a week after they released it, and all the cans were already gone. And then early this summer, I don't know when it was. It wasn't long after they released these, but maybe around April or May. I went to one of the liquor stores I go to buy beer from quite a bit in Cabot, which is about 30 minutes south of me towards Little Rock. At Ace Liquor Store, and they have pretty good beer selection. And the guy knows that I'm one of the big beer nerds that comes there. He likes me because I buy the expensive beers from him. He treats the craft beer drinkers in there pretty well. And he'll always like save me back some of these really rare, hard to get beers, especially if I say something about them. And he had 2 cans of it, and I walked in one night. Well, hey, I got something for you, and handed them to me. I'm going to kiss him. But anyway, I just cracked this. So this one's been in the fridge since I brought it home, and it's been sitting in there for 4, 5, 6 months maybe. It's been in there for just a little while. I got it not long after it was released.
Okay, I was just curious.
Sounds great.
And it drinks the same. It isn't falling off. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It gives you an idea of when they release it. That's why I was asking.
Yeah. Oh yeah, right on the bottom of the can it says February 19th, 2019. I don't know if you can see that.
I got no reason to doubt what you're telling me.
No. Anyway, they just to show they put the damn date on. This would not chap your chapstick right here. It says canned on. But yeah, man, if I can get my hands on more of this, yeah, I'm gonna buy all I can of it because it is really, really great. You just wouldn't believe how smooth it is.
Oh, I believe it.
All right. So Hundy's
Yeah.
from Shane Fudge. That's pretty impressive because we know you've had some of the best beers in the world, and you have a great beer cellar and collection. So that's awesome. I hope, maybe one day we'll all get to try that beer. We'll have to make it to Arkansas, and that'd be cool.
Yeah, man, absolutely. You guys, I don't have a real big place, but I have a lot of beer to share.
They got hotels.
Yeah, oh yeah, that would probably be the best way to do it. Just come to Cersei. We'll go get a hotel and a room and just have a humongous beer tasting. I probably could get a lot more Arkansas beer geeks to join in. I like that. I like bottle shares. I just rarely get to ever have one because I just don't have people around me that I know, in this town especially.
Oh, I think he froze up there for a second. All right, so there he goes. Yeah, you froze there at the very end there, Shane. But
I don't know what happened. Anyway,
we got most of it.
Yeah.
All right, so we still have to go back to Robert the Whiskey Scout with his final thoughts and rating on the Evil Twin Decadent Delight.
Well, I'm going to give it a 96. I really enjoy this one. It's really good. It's not something I think that I would want to sit and drink one after the other. Like most stouts, you don't want to do that. But this is a really good, like, opening your palate kind of for the day or something. It's a really good way to start everything off. It's really good stuff. Do let it, if you buy it, I would suggest you let it warm up for about 10 minutes after you pull it out of the fridge. Just let it gets better as it warms up. I wouldn't let it get to room temp, but let it warm up 10, 15 minutes, and you're going to get a lot better experience with this one. But I enjoy it. It's really good.
Awesome. Okay. Well, let's see. We've still got to go back to Ron Ontario with his final thoughts and rating on the Black O'Lantern Pumpkin Stout. I'm sorry. I don't know why that's funny to me, that name. But I'm going to go ahead and bring Eric in.
Why it's funny to you.
Well, maybe after some of the events of the last week. Anyway, let's see. I'm going to bring in Eric. He's here with us this morning.
Man.
Hi, Eric.
And hello.
So we will let Ron give his rating of his beer, and then Eric, if you have a stout, you've got like 5 minutes. You give the whole breakdown of it.
I have a Colombian Supremo Dark Roast from New England Coffee. That's what I'm drinking right now.
Oh, no stout? No stout this morning?
Oh, even if I was going to join, I actually don't even have a stout in the house.
So you
are all right.
I'm blasphemous. Oh no.
No, blasphemous.
All right, so
kicked out.
All right. So yeah. we'll get to Eric. We've only got a few minutes left during the live stream here. So Ron, go ahead with your Black Lantern Pumpkin Stout. All right.
I'm sorry, Eric. I didn't mean to hurt you. I didn't mean to make you cry, but tonight I'm cleaning out my closet. All right. Now, okay. First of all, I want to say to Shane, I'm sorry. I want to express my condolences for the loss of his father. I know that was very tough for him. His father passed away recently.
Yes.
And I went to my mother's grave yesterday and put some, not flowers. I didn't have any flowers. So she used to always like to plant spices in the backyard like mint. So I put some, what do you call it? I'm trying to think of the spice on her grave over there in New Orleans. So, trying to think of the name of that spice. It's like a purple looking thing, basil. Yeah, it was kind of pretty though. I was saying, Shane, I wanted to express my condolences for your loss of your father.
Oh, thanks, man. I tell you what, guys, this is one of the toughest. No, this is the toughest thing I've ever had to try to go through. I've lost family members. I've lost 4 people this year close to me. One being my father-in-law died. I watched him take his last breath this summer. I watched my father take his last breath a week ago Friday. There's nothing more sorrowful and painful than losing a parent that you're really close to. And he'd been suffering from Alzheimer's, and dementia for about 10 years. And if you know anything about it, John, I'm sure you deal with this every day probably. But
It's a lot
it's a downward spiral, and they
Yeah,
never
it's a lot
recuperate.
different when it's your own, though. I mean,
Yeah.
just because I deal with it doesn't mean that I understand. I mean, I've lost grandparents. I haven't lost a direct, like mom and dad are still alive. So yeah, I understand, and it's got to be very, very tough. And
Sure.
I'm sorry. This is the first time hearing about it. Actually, I don't recall. Yeah, so definitely, my heart goes out to you, brother. I'm sorry to hear that.
I appreciate that, guys. That means a lot to me, and just working through it. Suddenly we'll burst into tears over one little thought, and then you'll be laughing about some other fond memory, and it's just a roller coaster, really. I missed a lot of work this past week. I just, struggling a little bit with it. I lost a colleague back early in the year, died from brain cancer that I've worked with for 5 years, a real good friend of mine, and then lost a student that was supposed to graduate this past year. He died on Easter Sunday suddenly from a heart attack. Just a young kid, 17, 18-year-old boy, no signs of heart problems, and just died of a heart attack. So I'm seeing a little bit too much death this year. I'm ready for to become a little more peaceful, but this one hit really close to home. I got a small family. My mom's still alive. Pop was 82, and he was since February he'd been in a nursing home, and no quality of life. Just still remembered me even to just a few days before he died. I saw him. He seemed to be fine. His intestines, small intestines, were giving him trouble since last December. They had to remove several feet because his small intestines were dying and get twisted. Well, this last time they twisted, and then from scar tissue, and had a perforation, and he became septic, and that did him in. Yeah, he wasn't long. We had him on the vent, and the family he was modeling, his knees and his hands and his ears and outer extremities that were getting blood flow because his model, he was dying, and the vent and the medicine was keeping his heart and breathing going, and the doc said he's probably already gone, y'all. I mean, so we all decided to just let Pop go. There was no doubt in my mind where my dad went. His heart, and he was an awesome man. Right. I hope to be half the man that he was. He was a hero. He was during the integration, and you remember in Little Rock in the 50s, the integration, and the Little Rock 9, you probably heard of. Yeah. Those 9 young black children that went into Little Rock Central to get their education, and that from that millions of people were afforded their education, public education. And my dad was on the front lawn with an automatic rifle and a National Guard uniform on, protecting those kids from being harmed. As much I said, was it bad that day, Pop? And he's like, oh, those people were being awful. They were spitting on those kids, and they were spitting on me, and like, I just think of him as a hero. He helped save someone's life one time that was dying of a heart attack on the side of the road. He just just unbelievable man. He was a man of few words, but you could look at his eyes, and man, he would tell you exactly what was on his mind just by looking at his eyes. Just he was a great singer. My word, he could sing. And when he was younger, people thought he was Elvis Presley because he looked just like him and sounded just like him. Was about Elvis the same age, but anyway, my Pop was an extraordinary man. I'm going to really miss him.
Shane, you have your memories. Hold on to the memories. They're really important now, because my father's been gone 23 years, and it seems like those memories never fade, but you have to hold on to them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Lots of pictures and memories and videos, and he was a great person.
Well, the Stout Sunday goes out to your dad, Shane.
Thank you. Cheers.
So let's see, Ron. I think did you give a rating?
A final number from you?
Yeah, I was just my friend David was calling me, so I got to call him back. Now, what did Robert the Whiskey Scout give his?
96.
Oh yeah, I wanted to be sure. I'm gonna say it's 92. I mean, it's into the excellent range, but it wouldn't go above A minus. But still, for the price, 92 is a win. I mean, can't complain.
It's a good score.
If you've never had it, I'd say buy it. It's no downside to it, really. So, for a dark pumpkin flavored stout, I'd say.
Okay. Not bad. Yeah. Well, mine, everybody gave A's. I hate to be the party pooper here, but this one is not an A. The hemp flavors in the stout, they just detract from the good qualities that I look for in a stout. This is an 82 out of 100. It's good, but it's on the low end. If it wasn't for those weird funky flavors from the hemp and the dankness, that just it's too strong. And it just takes away from the quality of this beer. So 82, not worth it. I think it's $9.99 or $10.99 for the 6-pack. Definitely wouldn't recommend it. If you can find a single, I would recommend it because it still is a good beer. But on the low end, it's definitely unique, a lot different than any other stout that I've ever had, but not necessarily in a good way. But if you're into the hemp stuff, you might like it more than me. I just think that the hemp flavors do better in hoppy beers, not with this style. I don't think. That's just my personal opinion.
Okay, I know we're about to shut down.
Mm-hmm.
I know we're about to shut it down, right?
Yeah, you go ahead. Say your piece. What you got?
Okay. First of all, Maniacal Monday tomorrow at 7 Eastern.
Oh, okay.
Standard time. We hate you, Daylight Savings Time. We hate you. And no Fandango Friday, and then Wild Card Wednesday, but it won't be Wild Card. It'll be pumpkin beers, folks.
Oh, okay.
And the last thing is people talk about hemp beers. I hear about hemp beers on social media more than I hear about hemp listening to Grateful Dead albums. Look, should I start smoking marijuana so that I could understand this beer more? Would anybody here on air live suggest to me that I should start smoking marijuana?
No. I think it would be hilarious, but I don't think I wouldn't recommend it for you. You've gone this long, so I mean,
51 years old and I never smoked marijuana. I've never done it.
Going this long, it's about time then. If you're going this long, it's about time.
Live on video as a record, would you recommend on video that I smoke marijuana?
Well, it ain't gonna hurt you. If you want to try it, I would say go for it, but don't do it just because other people say to do it.
Yeah.
It's got to be.
Go to Colorado, buy
I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I just wanted you to say it on air.
Don't do it.
I just wanted a timestamp. I could put that in my memory bank and use that later.
Do whatever makes you happy. That's all I guess.
Oh, wow, man. It's so freaky. It's freaking me out.
Okay, let's see. On that note, we'll go back to the comments one more time. We got Flacco in here somewhere, way up. I got way behind on the chat. I can't keep up with you guys. Appreciate everybody in the chat, everybody watching.
Flacco.
Cheers to you, Flacco. 47 straight. Let's see. We got Eric. We got the Eclectic Beer, Jeremy. There was a couple of comments. Let's see. Just Jeremy says he lost his mom last year, so prayers to Shane. Then Eric had this interesting line from Eric Clapton there. So let's see. Blake TV, thanks for stopping by. He says prayers to Shane.
Thank you y'all very much. That means a lot to me. I appreciate that.
let's see. Eric says, "Shut it down, John Taffer style from Bar Rescue." All right, yeah. So the Eclectic Beard says the 420 strain Mango Kush is freaking awesome. I actually think that might be my favorite one of the hemp beers that I've had. But yeah, they're just not really for me in general. I just can't get past that strong flavor to enjoy the other qualities in the beer. I think that it masks the good qualities in the beer. So
I think they're trying too hard. I think Sweetwater's really trying too hard.
I really do. Yeah, I know what they're trying to do, and they're obviously trying to appeal to a select market. But
Yeah.
I think they're overdoing it. Yeah, they're trying, like you said, they're trying too hard.
The best hemp beer I had was one I got in Austria, the Appenzeller Hanfblut, and it's actually pretty. Greg Puckett actually liked that beer I sent to him, and it was old. And it's more like a lager, and it doesn't have hops in it. It just has hemp leaves and flowers, and it's really crisp and refreshing and very nice. And but I haven't found another one that's as good as that one.
Okay, huh?
But yeah, you can't find it here in the States, but unfortunately, but I do try to search it out when I happen to be in overseas. But it's pretty nice. Yeah, it's good if you ever get a chance to try it.
I'll keep trying. I'm not. I'm gonna try. I'll try it if I can find it. I'll try anything really.
The Hemperor, that New Belgium's Hemperor. Almost.
I have not had the Hemperor yet. I heard that was one of the better ones. I have not had that though.
It's pretty decent, but man, that one lingers with me for like a day. I belch up.
Hemperor did make me burp a lot.
Yeah,
but it was good.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's see. Any other final comments before we shut this down? Everybody, all right. Well, thank you everybody for joining. We're gonna end it with this comment. I think this is the comment of the day. That's hilarious. 47 Straight says, "Now y'all come on down to Southeast Louisiana and what was I saying?"
See, that's how you get. That's cyberbullying. That's what that is.
All right. So thank you, Michael, Ron Ontario, Shane Fudge, Robert the Whiskey Scout. Thanks for joining. Thanks to everybody in the chat. We wouldn't be here without you. We had a great chat, great discussion today. Really appreciate it, guys. Hope everybody has a great rest of their weekend. Enjoy the football games and go Auburn. We won last night. And until next time, everybody. Cheers.
Go Tulane. Go Tulane.
Cheers.